welcome back to Thailand Chit Chat. Today we've got a Hua Hin report. Well, it's generally a report of what's happening around Thailand and Hua Hin with Richard Buckle, who's down in Hua Hin. So, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I've got to say these things. Subscribe. Please share. If you get any suggestions for certain things you want to know, we can maybe research on, just let us know. And we'll create a video on it if we can. So, Richard, how are you? You've been back in the UK, so have I.
Yeah, we just got back over the weekend and enjoyed some cool weather after that incredible heat wave just a few weeks ago. So, in fact, when we were in the UK over the last couple of weeks, we actually had some nice sunshine, temperatures up into the mid-20s at times, which was really unusual. And we had a great time. But it's also really great to be back, as usual.
So where were you? I was in Scotland.
We're a little way from Scotland. We're down on the M25 between Heathrow and Gatwick Airport. My family lives around that area. A lovely little town called Leatherhead, which people like to laugh at.
Would I ever Leatherhead? Okay. Right, okay.
There you go.
I'm going leather-headed myself, yeah. But anyway.
Exactly. Same here.
All right, well, I was up in Glasgow. It was freezing cold, raining all the time, but it was absolutely fantastic. And I was amazed about Glasgow. It's changed so much. I'm missing over a year. I was back last year, but I just found it really clean. A lot cleaner than I expected. Very more friendly. We went to the Barras Market in Glasgow. Everyone was so friendly. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously, we go back and see family, yeah, which is also good. But we saw a little bit more of my country, yeah, than in the past this time. So my wife and I went across. So
do you wear a kilt when you're over there?
No, only wear it over here.
Just curious.
If it's a special event, yes, yeah.
Really?
But actually, it's probably the only place you could walk through Glasgow wearing a kilt, and nobody would actually bat an eye. But if I did that in London, everybody would bat an eye. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd bat more than an eye, I reckon. Yeah.
So some news. Have you got any news there you want to bring up? So what's happening down in Hua Hin?
Well, while I was away, I gather they had the Hua Hin Marathon, 3,500 people running from Koh Tao through Khao Takiap, sorry, and around the various parts of Hua Hin very early in the morning on that weekend. But of course, I wasn't here to have a look. But I gather it was a great event.
Right. Okay. Anything else?
There's been some. Well, again, while I was away, they had the comedy club here. The lady's name I've just lost, but apparently it was a big laugh over at the Standard Hotel last Thursday. So it's always nice to have the comedy club and people from Bangkok bringing either acts or music or comedy or whatever into this, into the area, just because we're normally lacking a little bit of culture.
I mean, probably about 10 years ago, I used to do some comedy. Not me doing the comedy because I'm not funny, but I used to bring people down to Hua Hin. So it was about 10 years ago. We used to had events in Banyan, and we also had events at one of the pubs opposite the police station. In there, this was before the Irish pub opened up. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's great. It's getting enough people to attend. To be perfectly honest, you need that critical mass. Yeah. And I think many expats are sort of spoilt with what's available, and some, especially in Pattaya and places like that, they don't want to pay. Yeah.
Well, this is often the problem, isn't it? The other thing that went on while I was away is that Dr. Penguin was in town. Now, do you know Dr. Penguin? He's based normally. Yes, he's normally based just outside of Pattaya, and he came down to Hua Hin for a week or so and did a few shows here in town, and I think also to get his name out and around as well. We actually had him on the radio with a great interview, which is on our YouTube channel, but he was really entertaining to listen to, and I had the chance to meet him just about a day before we flew off. So Dr. Penguin's well worth catching up with if you get a chance, either in person or see one of his shows or on YouTube.
Right, okay. All right. Well, some other news is there's Hua Hin's recent water supply issues resolved. Yeah. So there was a bit of a drought down in Hua Hin. Is that correct?
Well, there has been for some time. Basically, Hua Hin gets its drinking water, well, its water from two different resources. And the largest one that serves most of Hua Hin dried up. One of the local reservoirs was almost completely dry, apparently. Um, and of course, this was a major problem. And of course, it dried up just after Songkran. And around that sort of time, when everyone was throwing water all over the place, it just didn't help with the situation. But there are places just in some of the remote areas, just over at Hinlek Fire near Black Mountain around there. I know that there have been a few houses down there that hadn't had water for a couple of months. That didn't really hit the press. But, for as long as a couple of months, almost without water or just, dripping overnight and nothing during the day. But if they have resumed full water supplies, then that is good news. I did read in Hua Hin today that the reservoir that serves most of Hua Hin was back up to around 90%.
That's correct.
The other area, yeah. And we're on the south side of Hua Hin where my studio is, and we get our water out of Prambury, the dam just on the Prambury side. So in fact, we've never had a problem so far.
The big thing is that this happens every year. Yeah, as you said, the reservoir has increased to over 90%. Yeah,
sure.
And previously, that residents and businesses were forced to rely on delivery water to the premises. Yeah, so.
Well, I did go down.
How can they avoid this drought situation arising again and again? So it's a bit like, did you not learn the last time? Did you not learn the last time? Do they encourage people to store water? Do they encourage people to do what? Yeah. Should they have build another reservoir, which is obviously a big environmental issue because people lose their land, etc. Yeah. But it seems to be never ending. And with the expansion you're talking about in Hua Hin, and this another story going to come to soft power. Yeah. As you expand, how are they going to be able to cope with this expansion? Because there's developments in Hua Hin all over the place.
Well, I think there's been quite a lot of conversation about households really trying to set up a system where they can store rainwater at home, just and use it around if you've got a garden or plants or just washing the car or whatever it is. People have been encouraged to do that a little bit, but you're right. The problem comes back year after year. It's the same as flooding. The streets flood and the drains always get blocked, but, it only lasts a couple of days. So there's very rarely a long-term solution to that. It just happens. But, hopefully that, the authorities are looking at providing a better resource. In fact, both water, electricity, and all the other usual sort of services that you would expect, they should be able to be provided to Hua Hin. As you say, because of expansion, there's a huge amount of development going on now. And of course, the other real news has been with the airport just recently. As you know, Srettha Thavisin, the Prime Minister, I gather he has a residence locally here and visited Hua Hin Airport a couple of weeks ago, before he started his world tour. There was a lot of conversation about restarting international flights and developing more domestic flights. And, it looks like you need someone like that to be able to press the start button and get it really going. And it looks like that may well be on the way within the next 18 months or so. So we shall have to see. Once again, it's kind of hold your breath for Hua Hin Airport.
Yeah, because we discussed in previous ChitChat shows about a company developing the retail space and etc. as well. Yeah, and it's like all that effort goes in there and then nothing happens. Then the company say, well, why should we even think about investing in this until they've decided they're going to actually really do something about the airport?
Sure. But it's the way it's often the way things develop here. As you know, I work with the radio station.
In the UK, it's the same thing. My God.
Well, yeah, prefer not to look over there at the moment. But we work at the radio here, And there's a development to have digital radio across Thailand. And there have been tests going on for like 10 years. And it's only this year that it looks like it's actually going to come about, and licenses will be put up for offer to people that want to run digital radio around the country. There is a comparison with the idea, a little bit of testing and playing around with it, and then eventually, after a slow start, it goes at 90 miles an hour to get, to reach the finish post. And I think this is going to happen with the airport as well, and one or two other ventures.
Well,
We
let's
won't
hope.
mention
Let's
casinos.
hope that the train situation is resolved before the airport comes along. It seems to be lots of infrastructure elements going on. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So one other thing is there's an initiative they call the Soft Power Initiative to boost the local economy, and
Okay.
it says this is a strategy that emphasizes the province's renowned culinary identity and food heritage, aiming to make them more prominent. Now, this is once again, I think this is another one of these things we're talking about where there's a whole lot of fancy words, but what are you going to do? How is this going to be managed? What are they actually going to do? Because I must admit, Hua Hin, Pattaya, Phuket, and obviously Bangkok is a city of its own. Obviously, it's the largest. They're doing lots and lots and lots and lots of events, yeah. But I just this soft. I don't know what it means, quite honestly. Yeah.
Well, I'm not really sure either, but I do know that there's been quite a drive with the tourism authority up in Phetchaburi to really try and highlight that area. There's been a food festival up there quite recently, and several travel, days of travel and exploration of Phetchaburi. So, I think there is a determination to bring this whole Royal Coast area, make it a lot more visible and develop it a little bit further. So, slowly Phetchaburi will take off. Cheyenne will get a little more developed. Hua Hin has got a huge amount of construction going on. As you know, we have the new station. We've got, train systems, working there. There's a better train service, even though it's a little bit chaotic still. And of course, the airport. So all of these things combined means that there's going to be more people. And somebody somewhere has thought about Hua Hin, because when you look at the train station, it's 3 times bigger than it needs to be. So they built it for expansion.
Right. Okay. That's good to hear. Yeah. Another little thing is if you're into butterflies. Butterflies are nice little things. Yeah.
They are.
But anyway.
Yeah. What have you seen?
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be there's going to 200 species of butterflies are going to be coming out in June. Yeah, don't know when I say coming out, but they're being born. So it's supposed to be that we've been told that one of the best places in Thailand to watch butterflies is located just 1.5 hours drive from Hua Hin and Cha Am. Yeah, and that's at the Kaeng Krachan National Park. Yeah. And you'll see as many as 200 different species at that time in June. The best time to go and see it, see the butterflies, is between 11 a.m. and noon. So if you leave at 9 o'clock, you'll be down there by 11. See the butterflies, yeah, at noon. Go away again. You'll be back home by lunchtime, yeah, just
well,
after lunch.
Actually, Kaeng Krachan National Park is a beautiful place to go and visit. You can just spend a great day just looking around. As well as butterflies, you're likely to see a few elephants as well. And, and some of the hills. And of course, they've got the big dam there. And occasionally you'll see motor racing at the motor racing track, which is in the middle of Kaeng Krachan. So it's quite an interesting place to go and spend a day. And there are a couple of very good restaurants around. So it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I was interested, you might think, what the hell did you bring that up for, Andrew? When I was young, all these years ago, I was hitchhiking through Australia, and I went to Catherine Gorge, and I was in a canoe along Catherine Gorge, and we pulled into a little cove, and there was this little, I don't know, a sort of cave. I have to forget what you call it, but anyway, on the walls, yeah, was thousands and thousands of butterflies. And we went along.
Right.
It was just like that. basically it blocked out the sun. It was absolutely beautiful. It was just a wonder just to watch. So it brought that memory back to me when I was about 18, 19, when I was hitchhiking around Australia. Yeah, all these years ago. All right.
Those days are over now, I'm afraid. Okay.
Yeah. So the other one.
I don't have much more. I don't have much more. I know.
I've got one more.
Sorry.
I've got one more. Is to do with this foreign income regulation. So you had down in Hua Hin, they were explaining about this income tax, where if you're bringing money into Thailand, you would have to pay income tax on it. Yeah. But what I keep this is the comment that was said. There are many caveats and nuances to this issue, with each person's situation being unique, contributing further to the ongoing discussions and need for tailored advice. So basically, quite right, the organization that ran it, obviously they're looking for business, so that's the incentive to speak to them about it. But there's so much, there's no guidance. So the example somebody was asking, I was speaking to somebody about is, what happens if you want to go and buy a property? You want to go and buy a condo, right? So you meet the 49.51%. If I bring that 5 million baht in, am I taxed on that as an income tax? Because it's an investment. So that 5 million that I paid, I may be paying 30%. So actually I have to bring in 6 million. Well, so maybe somebody can answer that question. How is this going to stifle investment? All these properties that are going to arranging for retirees down in Hua Hin, that they might be asking for, 5 million, 4 million, but actually it's not enough, because you're going to have to pay income tax to bring it in. Yeah? Even say, for example, they say if you aren't here for less than if you're here for more than 180 days, you're liable to tax. Yeah. But what happens if you are living here and you are here for a year? You have to bring the money in from outside to buy a property. Yeah. Does that mean I get income tax? I get taxed on that because I live here? Well, and I'm bringing the money from outside. Some people have to send the money out to bring it back in, because it has to be, the investment has to be from overseas money, not money here as a foreigner. So, yeah, we haven't really.
I don't think there are any hard and fast answers at the moment.
I know.
But the law's been passed. Yeah, of course. But you see, it was also passed with cannabis. And we've also discussed about the trains, and we've discussed about the airport. And so it's clear that the idea is there and something will be put in place, but it's still very grey and not perhaps fully thought through just at the moment. But I dare say that people's income is going to be evaluated next year. This year's income will be evaluated early next year. And it appears, from my understanding, is that the government are then going to sort of randomly pick on people to do checks. That's the way I understand it. But again, there seems to be very little that is really clear at the moment. And I think it's just going to take a little more time before the visibility, becomes a little bit better on this.
So we're waiting for precedents, yeah. And just to stress that this is not just for foreigners, this is for Thais who are working overseas as well, yeah. So this is not a foreign attack in any way. So yeah, I just think it affects things like retirement and then investment, and actually Thailand's image with its being such a grey area. But every law is proven or is by the precedents of other people getting caught. And then they follow that judgment, yeah. So let's just see.
I think that's exactly right. I do know of people that have decided not to buy property here because of this law. Already, it started to have a downturn, and I think the government's going to find that they won't have so many people retiring here, and people will not be so willing to invest in either property or business here until there is some real clarity on that. So, hopefully they'll work it through quite quickly so everybody understands where they are.
So that's basically all my little, my whinge for the week.
Good for you. All right. Andrew, it's always a pleasure talking with you. And it is good to be back here in lovely Hua Hin. Even though it's a little bit of a grey day, it's nice to be back.
Okay, that's good. I'm happy to be back as well, I must admit. All right, thanks very much, Richard. Yeah, and we'll catch up within the next few weeks, a couple of weeks. So when more things are happening, because this is low season now,
Well, yes, it is very quiet here generally. Most of the restaurants are saying it's very quiet. Our advertising's down and customers are down everywhere. So let's see how we are next month, next time we talk. Thanks a lot, Andrew.
Okay, thanks very much. See you later. Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. If you get, as I said at the beginning, if you've got anything you would like us to discuss or get more information on, please let us know. Please like and please share. It helps us basically manage the site. We don't make any money from it, from YouTube or anywhere else. So let's just keep it going. Thank you very much. See you soon.